Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GeoTenerife's 100% Renewable Conference here at the RAC. Thank you for coming. I'm sorry for the slight delay. I was going to have a bit of a lecture saying that we had to stick to timings very strictly because we have people coming and going at certain times, but clearly we've been the first at fault in that front. I would like to ask you first of all a couple of points of order. The RAC has very strict rules about mobile phones. If you can have them on silent, you're not allowed to use the mobile phone anywhere other than the entrance lobby. There's a couple of cabins. If anybody's a smoker, could they please only smoke on the balcony outside the terrace room where we're having coffee. Other than that, just to let you know, we run very informal conferences. This is all about communication. So if at any point there's something you don't understand, please just ask a question, interrupt. We'd be delighted to stop and address that point of information on the go. And obviously after each talk there will be a time for questions as well. There will be a bottle of honey rum that we have brought all the way from Tenerife for the best, most active delegate at the conference, and I can tell you it is absolutely lethal, so it's worth winning. So hands up, get those questions ready and earn your lunch, please, ladies and gentlemen. Can I just ask, of the people here, other than those who come from Tenerife, how many of you have actually been to Tenerife? Ooh, nearly everybody, excellent. And those who haven't been to Tenerife, could I just ask you very honestly the impression you have of Tenerife? Good, yes, I like that, volcanic and black. Anything else? Exotic, definitely. Anything else? You're all being terribly polite. Come on, I want you to be honest here. Anything else? Yes, interchange, excellent. Anybody else? You're definitely up for the honey rum. Anything else? Okay. We all know, living in the UK, that there is an impression of Tenerife as being a place simply for sun, holidays, and that's fantastic. It is that. But it's also a lot more. And that's what really excites us here at GeoTenerife. We're all about communication, education, and science. Tenerife is an island laboratory. We take universities out there, they do the most amazing field trips, and their jaws drop to the ground. Even those who've been for years don't realise the depth and breadth of study that can be done out there. We just have a little film, if we may, Louise, that we just want to show you, a little introductory film with a few images of Tenerife, and then I'll tell you a tiny bit more about what we're up to. Thank you. us, ladies and gentlemen. GeoTenerife scientific conferences, field trips, lectures, and webinars. If anybody's interested in coming to Tenerife, whether with a university, a private investor visit, do speak to us. Our field trip manager, Ignacio Fernandez, is at the back here. If you just, he is from Tenerife, of course. He is also a triathlete, so I think he's probably run, cycled, swum, climbed up and sort of climbed down just about every surface there is in Tenerife, so that you won't find many people, including locals, who know the island better than he does. Another issue, you have your press packs with you with lots of information. If anybody wants an electronic version of that information, please speak to Tina. Tina's here doing our publicity and tweeting away like mad. Does anybody here tweet? Do you Twitter? No? No? Okay. Aha, yes, there you are. Okay, fantastic. Do remember to put at GeoTenerife and we can see all your lovely comments. That would be fantastic. Right then, without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, let's get the conference started. We have a presentation, first of all, from the President of Tenerife, Carlos Alonso, who sends his apologies. He would have loved to be here today. Unfortunately, he was unable to come. But luckily, we were able to record a short introductory address from him only this week, which we'll play now. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to GeoTenerife 100% Renewable Conference. It gives me great pleasure to address you today and have the opportunity to talk about the efforts we are making in Tenerife to make our island more sustainable. Tenerife is an island full of opportunity where renewable energy is concerned. We want to be able to meet our energy demands from renewable sources, break our reliance on external suppliers, and maximize the opportunity our country offers with its unique climate. Here at the island government of Tenerife, we want to introduce legislation to give financial incentives for domestic production and reward people for efficiency and energy-saving incentives that cut back on conventional sources of supply. We aspire to become the European Union laboratory for the development of renewable energy. We are keen to welcome scientists and students who wish to come to our small yet perfect paradise. Our sun, wind and waves are inexhaustible resources that we can no longer afford to waste. We still have a long road to travel, but we are going in the right direction. The Technological and Renewable Energy Institute is a clear example of the good work we are capable of undertaking. The center was created in 1990 and has enabled Tenerife to position itself as the leading producer of solar photovoltaic energy in the Canary Islands. Today, here at GeoTenerife's important Renewable Energy Conference in the heart of London, we invite you to get to know us a little better and seek out our land of opportunity for the development of future projects. Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry that I cannot be there in person with you today as I would have liked. Our doors are wide open to you. We are ready and willing to offer all the cooperation you need so that your initiative comes to fruition. Thank you, and I wish you a good conference. Thank you, and I wish you a good conference.
Ladies and gentlemen, as I said, the President sends his apologies that he can't be here today, but the point of this whole meeting is to say that there's some exciting stuff going on the renewable energy front and sustainability in Tenerife, and we're here to talk about that today. And he wanted to pass on his message that Tenerife is looking for partners, and that's why you're all here. Thankfully, we've got two fantastic people for you to speak to here from the island, two members of the Tenerife Parliament who work in this field and who are here to make contact with you. So if you have specific projects you want to talk about, if you have specific questions, do nobble them over lunch. They're very approachable. And in fact, we're very lucky to have one of them now, Miguel Diaz Llanos, who's the Councillor responsible for Resources, Sustainability and Energy of the Cabildo de Tenerife. And he's going to speak to us about Tenerife's renewable efforts and calls for investment. and any eagle-eyed viewers might see one or two vehicles in his presentation. ¿Estás, Luis? Perfect. One moment. And in fact, he does have one or two announcements that to make, so do listen out for those, because they are new projects which are coming up, which you'll be able to participate in, so do listen out for that. Ladies and gentlemen, Miguel, thank you very much. Thank you.
Good morning, and thank you for your assistance here today. My name is Miguel Diaz Llanos, and I would like to begin my presentation by giving you some interesting facts about Tenerife. But let me show you first a little short video.
In a world saturated with information, it is surprising that there is a small island, home to the largest volcano in Europe, where some valuable secrets are still hidden away, making it a new land of opportunity. Will 4 minutes be enough? Let's take a look. First things first, its strategic location. Tenerife enjoys a privileged location, ensuring it basks in one of the most stable weather systems on the planet. Can you imagine living in an eternal springtime? 6 million tourists do just that, making the island the top destination in Europe. Maybe that could be another answer to our question. If you need to work or do business, where better than being in the midst of unique, unspoiled nature, a warm climate, the ocean, an extensive cultural program ranging from the second most important carnival in the world to internationally renowned classical music festivals. All of this alongside top-quality healthcare, a university dating back over 200 years, the best urban environment in historic town centers, but also knowing that it has infrastructure across all sectors, enabling it to connect to the entire globe. Tenerife has 2 international airports with flights to hundreds of destinations, serving over 12 million passengers a year. New routes operate every day, making the island a hub with major cost and time savings. In the 16th century, Tenerife was already a recommended stop on the many maritime routes that linked the 3 continents. Today, the island's ports connect to the rest of the world and offer top-quality infrastructure and services for maritime traffic. In addition, a 3rd port is currently under construction and is set to provide many investment opportunities and possibilities for new routes. Tenerife's current and future port facilities not only connect the island with the world, but are also a unique investment platform thanks to their free trade zones. And of course, they are a marvelous cruise ship destination. In the 21st century, there's also another important type of connectivity. Always active, Tenerife is committed to staying on the cutting edge of technology. One highlight here is the NAP, the island's telecommunications neutral access point with West Africa, set to open up the entire African continent to Europe and even Latin America via underwater fiber optic cables. Another is the supercomputer, a technology benchmark representing major support for business, science, and education. However, to do business, you always need a certain something. Companies operating in Tenerife benefit from unique tax regulations in Europe with specific advantages aimed at boosting growth on the island in all sectors and aiding access to opportunities the region offers for business development. Without a doubt, its strategic location, unique tax regulations in Europe, powerful infrastructure network, and constant technology upgrades all make Tenerife the ideal spot to invest in the future. Tenerife benefits from a foothold in Africa, a European approach, and an American heart. Oops, our 4 minutes are up, and there's still so much to say. But Perhaps you've already found an answer to our question.
Okay. With more than 800,000 inhabitants, Tenerife is the biggest and most populated island in the 7 Canary Islands. It is also the closest European region to the West Africa and a gateway to the 3 continents. In Tenerife, we have top-tier infrastructures across all sectors, but especially in the fields of telecommunications. We have an international underwater cable circuit with submarine cables connecting Europe, America, and Africa, and an island optic fiber loop that provides service about 500,000 inhabitants and 20,000 square meters of space for servers to safely protect data storage. One of our high-speed submarine cable links mainland Spain to the Canary Islands, providing connectivity with the Spanish National Communication Network for research and development centers and with the Grand European Network. The system total capacity is 8 terabits per second with current technology. This means that sending a 10 gigabit file to someone other part in the world, it will take 2 minutes. It always depends on the other part down low. Tenerife also participates with another of its submarine cables in a consortium along the West African coast with more than 20 African countries. All 6 high-speed submarine cables land into the NAP, an internet-neutral access point infrastructure with a Tier 3+ level of security and reliability feeding generated in a 400 kilowatts photovoltaic plant on the roof. But the jewel of our telecommunication infrastructure is the HPC Teide supercomputer, which is the second more powerful in Spanish and counts on Fujitsu and Iter's technology. The HPC Teide is 370,000 times faster than a home PC and has 35,000 times more capacity. It's just to give you an idea about our processing power. I would like to continue with a different class infrastructure in Tenerife, our advanced waste management system. But first, I will give you some background information. In the early 80s, in Tenerife, there were over 300 uncontrolled landfills. Being an island of a small dimension, about 2,000 square kilometers, and having about 50% of it land environmentally protected, it became a priority to establish a strategy to reduce waste generation. It was at that time when the island government, called Cabildo, launched the first waste plant to test all waste in an all-in-one environmental complex. The only one plant which currently has one of the highest performances statewide, treat around 300,000 tons per year and make compost with the leftover of the mixed waste. The resistant material, which cannot be separated, is poured into cells, which are then sealed to produce biogas and allow us to generate more than 2,000 families' electricity per day. To encourage waste collection and treatment, this pioneer initiative also involved the construction of a network of transfer stations where a municipality could deposit their waste instead of taking them to the landfill itself, as well as education campaigns to increase awareness to guard the need of a more sustainable island. Moreover, Tenerife has one of the most advanced plants in the world for electrical and electronic equipment waste decontamination. It is called e-waste and uses gas from the landfill plant to convert greenhouse gases from refrigerator and air conditioner into other non-polluting chemical compounds. E-waste
operate the most up-to-date electronic and electrical equipment waste treatment plant in Europe, with a guaranteed decontamination of 99.8%. It is the first plant in the world to treat refrigeration gases using landfill biogas as the power source, preventing the emission of almost 500,000 tons of CO2 equivalent per year. When talking about renewables energy in Tenerife, we always need to mention Iter, our Institute of Technology and Renewable Energies, which is also home of the modern telecommunications infrastructure I presented to you a few minutes ago. Iter is a renewable energy research center founded by the government of the Tenerife and has more than 20 years of experience in encouraging socioeconomic development and promoting research, development, and innovation technologies covering renewable energies, energy efficiency, sustainability, construction, environmental, and ICTs. The staff consists of a multidisciplinary team of 160 professionals offering the best research area in Europe for testing and exporting technology and knowledge, and actively involved in international cooperation projects based on renewable energies in Africa and South America. Now I have the chance to introduce you to our communication, waste management, and renewable energy infrastructure. I would like to highlight major investment opportunities in Tenerife at the moment. One opportunity is in renewable energies. The island is a world leader in water desalination and has exceptional weather conditions for the implementation of clean energies, as we have the largest number of sunshine hours per year in Europe, constant wind in certain parts of the island, and a favorable sea, besides being a volcanic island with unquestionable capacity for geothermal energy that Professor Nemesio Perez will speak in more detail about this great potential later. What I can already mention is that Tenerife is a completely different energy model than the rest of the continent for obvious reasons, such as insularity. In the coming month, we will ask the European Union Commission to promote the 2020 target in the Canary Islands through its strategy to our most regions. As one of Spain's leading tourist destinations, with over 6 million tourists a year, it also offers great business opportunity in the sector through available land for the construction of 5-star and 5-star premium hotels and the opportunity to promote self-sufficient hotels through self-generation models. One of our priorities now is also to turn waste into an opportunity to attract new businesses to the island and create jobs, hence to turn it from a problem into a source of wealth. In the coming month, we will draw a competition for public waste management in Tenerife for a 20-year period with the construction of more transfer plants, recycling centers, compost plants, and container sorting plants. Additionally, we will have a land of 800,000 square meters for industry research and development and green technology development that will allow us to export the technology developed in Tenerife to our nearest geographical environment, and why not, to the rest of the world, just as we did with the destination of water before. Tenerife also offers great business opportunity for the pharmaceutical industry as it is a natural macro laboratory with 80% of all Spanish biodiversity, hosts more than 150 research groups, and offer optimal conditions for the development of study and clinical tests. In the scope of our small island strategy, it is worth mentioning that we are currently aiming at identifying, developing, and deploying replicable, balanced, and integrated solutions in energy, transport, and telecommunication with a holistic approach. We also have a pioneer project on premium electrical vehicle fleet for use as a rental car. The Tesla S, which adapt perfectly to the driving condition of Tenerife and could be coupled to the existing high-standing hotel and car tourist offer in the island. It is also fit with the island government strategy of promoting the use of renewable energies. All stakeholders involved, car rental companies, hotel, tourism authority, have been contacted and they agree to provide support to the initiative. And last but not least, the audiovisual industry offers major investment opportunity in Tenerife based on its average temperature of 23 degrees all year round, 3,000 hours of light per year, a great diversity of environments, a wide network of production companies, and a service providers, and above all, unique tax advantage in Europe. Before I end my presentation, please let me remind you that Tenerife has its own economical and fiscal scheme, which is subject to the Spanish law and fully authorized by the European Union. It includes a series of tax incentives to stimulate the creation and development of business, such as a 4% corporate tax, a reduced VAT, and a fiscal exemption on trade and double taxation, among others. As you may see, Tenerife is a very interesting market today with many opportunities for investors, entrepreneurs, and operators worldwide that we hope you will be willing to join us soon. Thank you very much for your attention.
Furious 6 was recorded in Tenerife.
Of course, it was.
And,
it was.
Might that have had something to do with the 4%? Did it count as a Tenerife film, from what I believe, and they only paid 4% corporation tax? I believe that was a fantastic advantage, as well as obviously the location.
We've got a specific economic zone. It's called in a specific fiscal rate in the Canary Islands. So we hope more business come here. We are negotiating with the state and with Europe this kind of exception, and it's only 4%.
Fantastic, thank you. Now, any questions from the floor? There is honey rum in this. Okay. If I could just ask you to state your name and where you're from, and then your question. Thank you.
Hello, Neil Budd, SGH Martineau, we're a law firm. Just a question regarding renewable energy opportunities. You talked about wind and solar. So the questions I've got are, firstly, who buys the power? Do you provide, are there long-term contracts available for buying the power? And what are your tariff regimes? Are there subsidies available, as is the case in a lot of European Union countries, for wind and solar energy generation?
All right. We've got a strict legislation in Spain nowadays, and the government of the island is working hard to try to change that. Now, for sale, as I told you in my presentation, we are working nowadays in the self-generation and self-management, for example, in hotels. Tenerife actually has about the 97 megawatt installed of photovoltaic energy and 37 megawatts of electrical wind power. We are working hard to change the law for that. I told you that in a few months we are working with a committee to change that rule. So we hope the outmost region in Europe will bring us the opportunity to change that law and give us the opportunity. You know, we are an island, and for us, our model and our energy model is very hard. It's a different model, completely different model from the rest of the continent. So the government of the island is working hard to try to improve that. I don't know if I answered your question.
Well, just to clarify, so as I understand, at the moment you don't have any laws in place that offer tariff, particularly fixed tariffs or green certificates, as we have, for example, in this country or in other countries. But you're looking to change the law. Is that what you're saying to me? And also in relation to the contract for buying the power. So if somebody wanted to set up say a solar farm, who would be buying the power, and how could you guarantee that you would get paid?
All right, the power nowadays is bought by the UNELCO, is electrical, it depends on Endesa. It's a company, and there's a mixed energy. You know, you've got biogas from our landfill, we've got biodiesel and fuel oil energy. With in Tenerife, there are two electrical stations there, and also a little short hydraulic power, and the rest is a mix. But it depends on the conditions. Maybe once could be about the 30% of the energy. One time could be generated by the renewable energies. So it's a mix. But we are trying. You know, a long time ago there was a society called Solar One and Solar Two that both participate on that solar plant. But the aeolic power in the Canary Islands, very complicated legislation, and we are working and pressing hard to change that. You know, it's all about the protection, the environmental protection territory in Tenerife and in Canary is about the 50% of that territorial is protected environmentally. So there is a little bit complication permission, and we are working to allow firstly, we're working to improve our energy renewable generation. About working with hotels to implement in their roof and in their land self-generation and self-management.
Thank you very much. Any more questions from the floor, ladies and gentlemen? No? Fantastic. Councillor, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you.